Now, Jeffrey, I have another question for you, buddy.
What up, dude?
With all the stuff you were just saying about playing the game for Sassy and then Sassy playing the game for Samantha, I couldn't help but notice a lot in your journal and your text write-ups. You always wrote like, "We did this today," and "we," and "we plan on doing this," and "we." Do you? And
Well,
it's
because I felt like she was making it a conversation between us, and she was asking me for.
no. What I'm pointing out is like in your
Okay.
journal, you kind of just admitted it. So I'm saying I'm kind of just like trying to say you're really self-aware, and I'm glad now the game's over you kind of see that. But in the game, in your confessional, during when things were going down and tribal councils and strategies were going on, other people in the game were thinking and writing in terms of like just their like like Sassy and Samuel would type like I spoke with so and so and I plan on doing this and I think this is my best move. Whereas in your journal, I felt a lot of the times I was reading, we had this discussion and we want to do this and we do you feel like all this thinking too much in a group definitely hindered your gameplay, and I feel like you sort of answered my second question with your first answer. But do you think thinking in this we like you did it too much?
No, I mean, like, I don't think I did. I mean, when I said we, I really felt connected to Samantha and to Sassy a majority of the game. We were always in the minority. We were always on the phone. We were always talking. We always kept in
But yeah,
contact.
but you don't think that you should have a little bit at least thought thought for your alliance because without an alliance you're not going to make it very far. But you don't think that you should have at the same time like simultaneously had your own agenda, your own plan going in the works? Because okay, let me give you an example, Jeffrey.
Sure.
You had a Chikara threesome of Robbie, Cody, and Chris. Yes.
Mhm.
And I don't get feel this way with any of those three that I feel with you. Like Sassy and Samantha was another threesome with you, and like I don't feel any of the Chikara guys were always just we this threesome. I feel like yes they had this tight threesome, but Robbie always had his game plan and thought about himself, and Cody had his game plan and what was best for him, and Chris had contingency plans if this Chikara threesome didn't work out. Coming from you on like, and if I look at you on the same scale as I'm looking at those three, and even Sassy and Samantha, I didn't really ever see you have like, okay, this is my game plan. These are the people I'm close with. It was always just we. Do you think that was a
I don't
big
know.
mistake?
I just never felt like we were never safe, so I always considered ourselves as we. I
More,
mean,
more.
as
That's the time that you really develop your own game is when you're at the bottom. Do you think that's the
well,
reason why you got 11th place?
I don't. I just at that time things were shifting around too, so it's like it was either we're in the bottom, we're in the top. I just didn't feel comfortable talking with other people. I knew that we were going to be at the bottom, and I knew that whoever I was going to talk to was going to talk to the other people, and if I
I
could
think
get
that's a
one
lot
step
of
ahead of
assumptions on your
everyone
part.
else,
I think that's a
then
way.
I
I
would
think
do
that's
that.
so many assumptions on your part, buddy. Because
Yeah,
Sassy and Samantha were at the bottom. They were talking to people, and it just so happened that the tribal council you went out, they were at the bottom. They were talking to people. Things that you just said you didn't feel comfortable doing or didn't do. So I
yeah,
just
because I felt so loyal to. I listen, Sandy. I understand where you're coming from and the whole game aspect, but I wanted to play the
okay
game. Wait,
what
hold on,
Jeffrey,
Sandy.
what I
Let me
want you
talk
to
a second,
say,
dude.
what I want you to say so we can no Jeffrey, just
So
please just
ask me
say
a
this so we
question.
can
Let
move
me
on. Just say,
let me
Sandy,
finish
you're
what I'm
so
saying.
right. I said we so much, and I should have thought about myself more than my alliance. Please just say
Listen,
that.
I'm not a person that thinks I. In real life and in this game, and I know it's just a game, and I could have went the way other people went and backed everyone. I'm just not that person. So if that's what you
You're
want to
not
hear
a
from
soul
me, then I'll tell you
survivor, is
that.
what you just told me.
I can't hear you. What? Say it again.
It's pretty much you just told me every single reason why you're not a winner or soul survivor material.
I don't think that's. I mean, look how far I got, though. If I was someone
Honey,
who,
you barely
if
made it halfway.
if I was someone on the bottom, and then you can say that to me, but I got all the way to the jury without having to turn my back on anyone and
Samantha was
stay
all the
close
way
to
at the
my word
bottom,
the
and
whole
look where
time.
she is. That I'm just comparing differences in games, and I really just want you to be like, yes, I probably should have played my own game a little bit more.
I agree with you on that,
Okay,
but this
thank you.
is my
That's all I
first
wanted to
game.
hear.
All right, but you also talk. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
stuff
but
that
everything you're
happened in the
saying is
game,
like
and
irritating
it's
me.
like in like
Everything
what
you're saying is
4 or
just
5
like getting me
years.
mad. It's just like you're listing things of why you're
Oh
like
my god.
not a Soul Survivor.
Listen. Well, Sandy, if you want me to answer a question, you might have to just put yourself on mute so I can answer.
Oh my gosh, Jeffrey, I wouldn't have a rebuttal. I wouldn't have a rebuttal if I wasn't listening. I really wouldn't have a rebuttal.
You have to let me answer and fully explain myself.
Jeffrey, when you're running around the same freaking mountain, all I hear is like, "Oh my gosh, I was playing the game for Sassy and myself, and I was on the bottom." No, but you're repeating yourself, bro. You're repeating. No, what you're doing is you're repeating yourself. B, I wouldn't have a rebuttal if I wasn't listening, and C, I'm moving on. Sorry, Jeffrey. Love you, mean
No,
it.
that's perfectly fine.
No, okay, no, for real, no. If you really have something to say, I'm gonna mute myself for a whole 60 seconds.
No.
And let's see if we can get somewhere past. And let me just finish this and let's see. I'll mute for 60 seconds, Jeffrey. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute for 60 seconds, Jeffrey. And if you can mention something other than being at the bottom, not feeling comfortable, and feeling like you're really loyal to Sammy and Sassy, if you can mention something other than those three things, have at it. I'm muted. 60 seconds. Go.
All right, let's hear it, Robbie. Let's hear what you had to do this whole season. Oh my god. Patronize me, because I'm not going to follow whatever you're going to say. Go ahead, Robbie.
No, I wasn't patronizing you. I was actually giving you your request. I actually muted.
Why are you drawing this out more? Just go on to the next person. It's
okay,
fine.
I'm moving on.
Thank you.
Coming from the 11th placer thinking he's so badass, moving on to 10th placer who's probably more badass. Robbie, hey girl. Robbie, is it fair to say that you might have jumped the gun a little bit early on in terms of strategy in this game?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's exactly what happened. I think I got a little bit too comfortable. And I think I forgot about the part of the game that involved, keeping up your appearances with everybody, and I think I sold myself short there, for sure.
I have to say, at the start of this game, I was like, oh my gosh, Cody and Robbie still have this game in the bag. Like, and then in a blink of an eye, all that came crashing down with that Tyler Sassy deadlock vote.
Yes.
Anything you regret in that one round? Because I'm not saying that was your downfall because the mutiny came, you had time to, recuperate and stuff. But I feel like even when the merge came and stuff, backlash from that round sort of was still lingering, and you had yet to sort of, fully deal with stuff from Tyler's vote off. So yeah, anything from that round that you regret or wish worked out differently?
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, thinking about it, I don't really know what the next option would have been. I don't know if they would have just tried to target Tyler anyways. I mean, they can chime in on this as well, but I think that I did target Sassy too early, for sure. But gosh, going back on that moment, I don't know what else I would have done. I felt like I could trust Daniel very much, and I was putting myself in a position where I was gonna lie to him again while I was simultaneously working with Sassy and Sammy, who I didn't know if I could trust fully. So I went with my gut, and I didn't think it through. So
okay. Your gut was using Sammy as your ace in the hole for that round.
Yeah, I think I guess I overplayed how close Sammy and I were and how close she was to the other people, and that's my bad. Not realizing that. So she played that round really well, and I think that was just a really smart move on her part.
Now that you just mentioned how you either over or underestimated how close Sassy was to Samantha, that made me think back to how that relationship between the two of them started. And it all started with a little game that we call Katana Catch. This godforsaken challenge had such an impact on the course of this game. I cannot tell you, the last time one challenge, affected so much of a season. But does anybody on this call who played the game, who made it to that challenge, everybody but Gabe, does anybody regret, how the challenge played out and how it made these two tribes work together and sort of steered your strategies into one direction that before that challenge probably would have never gone in that direction. Does anybody, like regret being so willing to be like, oh, let's form these intertribal alliances?
I do. Totally. It was stupid. Thank you.
All right, so you guys do
Can I-
regret that? That's good because I
Can
hated
I
that.
say something?
Yeah, of
'Cause
course,
I
Craig.
I
Of
had
course.
I had the biggest bitch fest during this challenge. Can I just say, um, people were saying how like, oh, the losing tribes are gonna stick together. We gotta take them out. And I didn't talk to anyone on Saki about it. If anyone on, or I'm sorry, Koji, if anyone on like Saki or Chikara came to me, I would have been completely game with aligning with them. But you guys kind of forced us to think like, oh, well, let's kick them while they're down, And I was just like, we don't deserve this all over my confessionals. I was mad.
Refresh me if I'm wrong, Eric, but was it Ginny who came up with that idea?
I think it was, but I'm gonna be the oddball one out here and say I still liked that idea, and I don't know. I still really like the idea of Saki and Shakara staying together, but clearly I was the only one who thought that.
Well, I wasn't close with any of them at the time. I think I was like wrapped into just doing it because our whole tribe went to that call, so I didn't really agree with it.
I thought it was.
I got along with a lot of them, and
I thought it really closed off some strategies for some people, like Tyler, like Dodds, like Daniel, and if mutiny didn't happen, people like Daniel and Robbie would have been completely, I feel like, donezo. And it's just so funny that okay, like the Katana Alliance just so happened to be what the tribes mutiny looked like afterward. Like just the Katana Alliance was your post mutiny tribes. I was like, that's so funny. Anyway, Robbie, we're still on you, boo. Hi.
Hey.
So I am going to be a little risque right now and mention some not so shining moments from some of the people in the game or some not so kosher topics.
Okay.
Let's talk about your relationship with Sassy.
Okay.
Let's not.
Why not? I mean, if we talked about Eric and Debbie, who was pretty much petrified to come talk to Eric, and they squashed the beef and realized it's just the game. That's what we're gonna do here. Now, Robbie, tell me a little bit about your time in the game with Sassy. You started out in an alliance with her, then you decided, hey, I think it's best for me to get rid of her. Then she just didn't get voted out, and then you tried to target her again, and the bitch didn't get voted out, and then you tried to target her again, and then the bitch didn't get voted out. Tell me what it was like playing the game with her and why it turned into this sort of like you're not a real person type of junk.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I won't dive like in full detail.
Yeah, I
because
mean,
it's-
most people here, in terms of viewers, sort of know the gist. I guess you can enlighten some of the jury members who personally don't know your side, and I guess some of the pre-jurors. But yeah,
honestly, like, it came down to me letting like an outside opinion affect my perspective on somebody that I was getting to know, and I think that was a big mistake. I also think a big mistake was trying to, you know, bring this to light that I didn't think she was who she was, and I think that I definitely, didn't stick my foot in my mouth like I used to make fun of Sherry for doing. I didn't think. So, I do take responsibility for this whole situation. I never meant for it to blow up the way that it did, and I never really meant for it to be malicious at all or to like hurt anybody's feelings. That being said, our relationship is going to be what it is. Like, I can't expect anything from her after all of this went down, or after how many times I tried and failed at voting her out. So to me, it is what it is. I do feel bad, and I do have regrets in the game as far as that goes, because it's just not a real representation of myself. So I don't. Yeah, I'm not stop talking.
Well, like I've told you, and I've written in alumni and stuff, is you remind me of me so much in how I react and play orgs. It's just happy, awesome one day, and if something happens, it can put me on a downward spiral, and you do not want to get in my path. And I sort of guess I don't know if that's like a huge insult to you, but that's I guess how I viewed you. Like a roller coaster. Sometimes you go it's slow on the uphills, and then you go down so super fast, a sharp turn here, a loop there, and you're like, what the fuck? But that's what makes you a great character to watch. Granted, people who play the game, such as yourself, are not going to be the most loved or rootable people, but trust me, there are hosts and viewers out there who appreciate the type of player and what you bring to the table, Robbie. So with that said, despite all the drama, I know it all came from a place of just being enthusiastic and emotionally invested in the game. Because trust me, if you weren't either of those two things, you probably wouldn't have made it as far, and we wouldn't have seen these ups and downs in your emotions if you didn't care about the game. So for caring about the game, I love you till the ends of the earth.
Thank you very much, Sandy. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Robbie. Okay, so you were out pretty early in the merge. How was it to watch your homeboy Chris make it far? Just sort of like Billy seeing Samantha make it all the way to the end. Were you proud of Chris?
You know, it was I'm really proud of Chris, and I was really like gunning for them right from the beginning. Like right on my way out, I was like, do not give up. You guys can do this. Just get it together, and they did, and that makes me really happy. And I think that one of my favorite moments being on the jury was after Cody joined me. I hope he doesn't mind that I'm going to share this story, but I received mail from Cody via the U.S. Postal Service, and it was Cody's vote, his physical vote for Eric, and he wrote a little message on it for me, so that made it all the better.
Wait, did you say you were going to read what it said or something?
Oh, I don't have it with me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like unwrapping it, and I was waiting for you to read.
It was just kind of just poetic justice.
Oh.
That's amazing. I didn't even know you did that, Cody.
Now,
I'm lame like that.
mentioning Eric, he was the reason why you were voted out. I guess since the merge happened, there was plans in the works to try to turn on to the new Chikara guys, and I guess Jeffrey getting voted out was like a sign of good faith on Sassy and Sammy's part that like, hey, if Sassy and Sammy, if you vote out Jeffrey, we'll be willing to turn on the Chikaras if you guys do this. If you sacrifice one of your own, we'll like team up with you the round after. How do you feel about Eric getting one over on you? And after you answer that, how does it feel to see him exit right after you?
I honestly I kind of understand why they did what they did, but I think they did it 1 or 2 rounds too early. And I think that's why he ultimately joined me right afterwards. And the fact that he did just proves that really there was nothing he probably would have been able to do anyways. So he probably just decided to give it to the people that he was closer with, which was Nicole.
Now, Eric. Hi.
Hi.
Moving to you now, buddy.
I'm excited.
Okay, so you started out on the Chikara tribe, probably the strongest tribe, one of the strongest tribes next to Saki. And then come merge, you decide, hey, these guys that I've been playing the game with all the time, or since the start of this game, don't necessarily have my back. I don't trust them. It's time to make a move. You vote out Robbie. Do you regret that decision at all?
Absolutely not. I do not. I don't know if I kind of wish I went after Chris instead of Robbie, but ultimately I do not regret.
Wait, so you mean
on-
Cody? You mean Cody instead of Robbie?
Well, either Chris, Cody, or Robbie. I mean.
Oh! I
one
thought you
of
meant.
those
I thought you
three
meant.
needed
Oh,
to
sorry,
go.
I was misunderstanding.
I don't regret switching on those 3 in general.
Do you think that you could have done something more? Well, okay, here's how I see the round you left. I see the round you left, it had the potential to not be you. And it could have not been you had maybe you reined in your 5-some that voted out Robbie a little tighter. But I think Chris and Cody went to work. They went to work hard. I think harder than you, which is why you left right after Robbie. Do you think there's something more you could have done to convince your 5 to stick tight and like, hey, whatever Chris and Cody are selling you, that's just, it's not, is there anything you could have done to, get them voted out before you? Because it's kind
Um,
of how it went down. It was like, all right,
Yeah, after I got voted off, the thing I regretted the most was not working on Sassy more than I did. And I think if I went to her and explained to her, like, I'm probably the one going next, but with Sammy having the idol, Sassy, you're going to continue being the target over and over and over. And I really feel like if I went to her and explained this to her and got her that one vote to save me, and that could have been her big move to separate herself from Sammy. She could have been, and I was, there's a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas, but I really think that could have been what saved me in this game. So I guess that's what I would have done differently if I can go back that round.
Heard. What was your favorite part about this experience, Eric? Coming in as a replacement and you know winning fan favorite a couple of times. Like, what was your favorite standout memory? Sorry, Joe G. Can you mute? Sorry.
There was first off, the challenges were absolutely amazing. I loved, like, speaking of what Woods was saying, the scavenger hunt challenge. I really had the best time ever playing that challenge. I had so much fun. Watching the dedication of everybody on my tribe was absolutely amazing. Another thing is meeting Nicole. Literally, she's one of the most amazing people I've ever played a game with, and that I could say that was like one of the great experiences I've had. I guess that's really it.
Do you think had Naomi actually played this season, it would have played out the same way?
I mean, I don't know Naomi at all. I'm so glad that she dropped out, but everything would have changed, and I don't want to be like arrogant and cocky and saying the game wouldn't be as fun, but I know it wouldn't be as fun for me if she was in it. I guess that's more of a question for everybody else's.
I definitely don't think the season would have been the same had you not been replaced. So I'm actually completely happy that Naomi pulled out because love Naomi, but I don't think she would have been able to bring all the elements that you brought. So
I had a lot of fun with like my confessionals, and it was great.
thank you so much for just bringing everything you brought to the table. It's been awesome.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Anytime. Is there one person in this cast that you would not like to see play All Stars if you were to be cast?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you and straight up. I'm very disappointed with Robbie's attitude and maturity once I left the game, and he'll find out from my confessionals. He was probably my favorite person in this game, and I literally praised him. And once we switched opposite tribes, and literally I missed him more than literally anybody. And once I talked to Sassy would tell me how much crap Robbie talked about me. It honestly hurt me, and I really wish he would have respected my choice of getting rid of him. But instead he pretty much badmouthed me, and there's a reason why I haven't spoken to him since I was voted out.
Why did at the final tribal council Aaron not? I mean, why did Samantha not earn your vote and Aaron did?
The reason for that is, I mean, as I said in my vote, it's not a public speaking competition. It's clear that Sammy killed him when it came to that. I really feel like Aaron set himself up in a way to where he was the swing vote every single round, and because of this, nobody was going to vote him out because everybody needed him as the vote. And Sammy had the idol, which I really feel like if she didn't have that hidden immunity idol, I really think that she would have been a bigger target, and she would have been getting the 1,000 votes that Sassy didn't get. And it's not Sammy's fault. I really feel like it's the idol's fault because Sammy didn't really have a chance to bring her social game into it. So I didn't really get to see that side of Sammy's game.
Thanks, Craig.
Oh, what?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Craig.
You ruined her social game, you asshole.
But yeah,
No hard feelings. I completely understand what Eric's saying, and I think that Aaron played an awesome game. Regardless of what anybody says, he definitely
It's
played.
hard. I honestly, I don't think I've ever seen this implemented. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it was sort of Sugar-esque, but like I've never seen somebody like position themselves post merge every vote to where like both sides needed them. Every vote, usually one or two, and then you get called out, and then you get voted out for.
I was actually thinking about this. I'm pretty sure Aaron voted out every single jury member with exception of myself.
Yeah, and that was to save face, but he
And
knew,
he knew
but
you were
he knew
going.
you were
Yeah,
going. Like he
I
could
did
have,
find that out.
yeah,
that
he could
knew
have
I was
easily
going.
voted you out, but he knew you were going, so it wasn't like he wasn't in the know.
But it's like the same thing with Nicole. Nicole knew I was going. She had yet submitted her vote, but she was gonna stick loyal to me. I mean, I'm assuming that's why she didn't vote for Chris.
Yeah, you'll see. She was very upset the whole round you were leaving, pissed off. It was not a happy Nicole. All right, Eric, thank you so much for everything. Okay, buddy.
Thank you.
And feel
very
free to
much.
chime in if like I get to a topic that you have something to mention.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Okay, now brings us to 8th place. Codes there.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, so it's been a hot minute since you stepped in the world of iSurvivor. In 2008, you played in a huge cast. It's 27 people, all stars from seasons 1 through 7. You ended up getting second place at the final Chuba Council. The vote was, I don't know, like 6-2 or something, 6-3, I don't know. But your number one ally ended up cheating, crown taken away. You ended up and you have been rocking that All Stars crown since then. You entered this game as a vet, bajillion years later, from the earliest season in the game. Like you're like the grandfather vet. You're like,
I'm the Tina Wesson.
yeah, you're like totally Tina Wesson of this season. How did it feel to come back to this generation of iSurvivor?
I absolutely loved it. I know I've said a billion times, but when I was on the first time and the second time we didn't have Skype, like I never have really spoken like language other than AIM to other people. And I know I said way back in Greece, like I started doing orgs because I was kind of a nerd in high school. I didn't have friends, so it was like a chance to kind of like make a group of people, to have that group. And like in the first 2 seasons, I kind of had it, and then this season came about, and I was like, okay, let's see how rusty I am. Let's see if I can do this. And I came in not knowing any of the alumni really or any of the new people, and so I was like, I'm gonna be first to go. Like this is gonna suck. But walking out of the season, I might not have a crown. I might not have won it. I came in it to win it. I might not have won it. But to be honest with you, I'm leaving with. I'm gonna try not to get emotional. I'm leaving with like more friends than ever before, and that means more than any title of iSurvivor that could mean to me.
Oh, Cody, what do you think? Yeah, that's a round of applause. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. What do you think it is, or what do you think it was about this game? The people, like, what was it that made your 8th place in this game so much more enjoyable than your 2nd or 3rd place in your other
I think it
runs?
was everybody's dedication to the game. Like I've never seen a group of 24 people be more dedicated to a game. I mean, I stayed up all night with some of these people. I would log on before class in the morning and talk to people for as many seconds as I could before I had to leave. And like I've been in class the last couple of weeks, like thinking about people. I've gotten more people's phone numbers that I have. Like I've drunk texted a couple of these people. Like it's. I don't know. It's an incredible group of people, and it's a group of people that I've connected with on a completely different level outside this game, inside this game. I mean, it's been an amazing experience without a doubt.
Awesome, Cody. Well, you were fantastic to watch play. Kieran's enthusiasm about one of her iSurvivor biffles was fun to be around all the time. Bye, Jermaine. Sorry, I was Xing out. I am. Okay, with that being said, how was your time on the jury? I've never seen you a part of an iSurvivor jury. How was this experience for you?
I loved every minute of it. I've told the jury a couple times. I'm probably a little bitter, but I told them, like I would rather any of us win this than the 2 people that were in the final 2. And I don't, on the outside of the game now, like. Side note, I need to tell Samantha something later, but so that everybody can hear. But I had so much fun with this jury, and the minute I got voted out, everybody was so emotional. Like Robbie was sad, and Jeffrey was sad, and like the people that were still in the game, from what I heard, were upset a little bit. But like I was having a blast. I was so excited. Like I had never been more excited.
to be part of the jury and to I don't know. I even got more personal. I never really even talked to Jeffrey during the game, and being on the jury with Jeffrey, I got to talk to him more. And it's I got to talk to Sassy more. I didn't get to talk to her much in the game, and being able to talk to somebody without the stress of the game is amazing. I loved it. I love everything iSurvivor. A couple people have asked what other games I've played, and I'm I don't play anything but iSurvivor. That's all I do. All I do is iSurvivor.
Back in the day, I used to tell people, I was like, all right, if this is your first game, I feel really bad for you because after you play this, every game's gonna suck.
Right. I don't want to play anything else. I only do iSurvivor. That's what I do.
All right. One moment.